We're going to continue with financial math. We're going to look at the continuous compounding formula, and that would be A equals P, which is our initial value. Then E, and the number E is similar to the number pi, 2.71828, and it keeps on going. Then what we have is it's raised to the R, and remember the rate needs to be written as a decimal. So if you look at our first example, that should be 0.06. And then we have time in number of years. Now, just to kind of quickly go over where this formula comes from, we have our formula that we looked at last time, which is the compound formula. And if we were to treat each of the variables, P as 1, and R as 1, and then T as 1, and we just replace the ends, what we're going to do is we're going to see that it's going to approach this number right here, and that's where we're getting the formula. So let's just start off. If our compounding is 1, then what we have is 1 over 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. Raised to the 1 is just 2. Now our next one, if we compound 10 times per year, what we get is 10, and then we raise it to the 10 times 1. Once again, we're keeping all our variables the same, except for the ends. And when we calculate that, what we get is 2.594. Then what we're going to do is we're going to look at something compounding 100 times per year. And when we do that, and we raise it to the 100 times 1, and we calculate that, that's 2.705. Now the last one that I want to go over is, let's say we compound something 1,000 times. That would be 1 times 1 plus 1 over 1,000. And then we're raising it to the 1,000 times 1. And that right there is 2.717. Now, when we're looking at each of these numbers, what we should recognize is that all of them are approaching this number right here. Now, because they're approaching that number, what we're going to do is we're going to replace the compound formula with the continuous compound formula. So that's where this formula comes from, because right here is the 2.71828. So let's go to solving it. We have A equals, we have our initial amount, which is 1,000. We have E, and we're raising that to the 0.06 times 10 because it's invested for 10 years. And that right there gives us $1,822.12. Once again, make sure you're familiar with your calculator and you're getting these values. Example 2, we have a person investing $2,000 at a rate of 7% for 12 years. Notice it says compounded continuously. Whenever our statement says continuously, we're using the formula with the E. So we have A equals, we have 2,000, which is being invested, E raised to the 0.07 times 12. And when we do that, what we get is 4,632 and 74 cents. Now looking at example 3, we have a person investing 4,000 in stocks for 60 years at a rate of 8% per year. Notice it says compounded continuously. So we have A equals, we have 4,000, we have E, we're raising it to the 0.08 times 60. And that right there gives us 400,000, 486,000, and $41.67. Now, looking at example 4, this is similar to what we looked at last time. We have semi-annually, we have monthly, and we have continuously. So last time we talked about semi-annually, meaning that it happens twice per year. So we're going back to our old formula, which is A equals, we have our initial amount, which is 15,000. We have 1 plus, our rate is 10% over 2 years, raised to the 2 times, and then it's for 30 years. And that right there gives us 280,187.79. Now, monthly. We know monthly is 12 times per year. So we have our initial 15,000. We have our 1 plus. We keep our same rate, which is 10%. This time it compounds monthly, so n is 12. We're raising it to the 12 times 30. And that right there gives us an answer of $297,560.99. Now, if we're looking at letter C, notice that it switches. It says continuously. So that means we switch the formula. So we have A equals, we keep the same 15,000, except it's E, and we're raising it to the 0.1 times 30. And when we calculate that, what we get is $301,283.05. Now, one thing that we notice is that the more times it compounds, the more money that is gained. So we go from 280 to 297 to now 300,000 based on how much it's compounding per year.